Airports are about to get a whole lot busier now that the holidays are in full swing. And our next guest is sharing travel tips along with some trends for 2023. Joining us once again is Gabe Saglie, Senior Editor for Travelzoo. Gabe, good morning. Welcome back. Great to see you again. Before we start to make the predictions of where travel will go and the best deals will be in 2023, is there anything we can sneak in here in the last month
shouldn't we try to do that? Yeah, actually starting today, Chris, we're entering what I call a beautiful sort of 3-week window of opportunity. Through about December 20th, big lull in travel demand. That's going to bring prices down. So if you're looking for, whether it's an hour up the coast or halfway around the globe, the next 3 weeks offer an unusual batch of deal opportunity for those of us who have time to get away.
So it's kind of that lull between the holidays.
Exactly
but
right.
Once you get to 20th, 21st,
I'd
it's
say
like
December 20th
knocking on the door
is the unofficial launch of what's going to be a very busy couple of weeks there, for sure.
And do prices, you'll see the prices fluctuate also?
I think December 20th, you're going to see demand soar. I mean, for folks who have not necessarily bought their late December, early January flights, I mean, the time to do it is now. We're seeing them climb daily, $5 to $15 on average airfare. What we saw over Thanksgiving was, hey, the airlines handled the volume quite well. They did aggressive hiring over the last several months. They trimmed their schedules. It was Mother Nature that threw a couple of curveballs.
Yeah, as always.
And that'll happen again as we head toward December. But it looks like now we're entering the holiday season over the next month or two, with the airlines finally avoiding some of the meltdowns that we saw in the early part of the summer season.
That's good to know. Staffing obviously is very important. So,
yes, sir.
All right, 1 month left. Let's swing into 2023.
Yes,
let's look ahead. So Travelzoo put out some predictions in terms of what the travel trends will be. Let's
this is based on a member survey we did just a couple of weeks ago. What is travel going to look like next year? So first question is, how will you spend your disposable income in 2023? Even in the midst of inflation concerns, and even if your budget is slimmer, let's say, what are you going to do with that money? Travel by far number one. 78% of folks saying, hey, we're gonna travel, even if it's with a smaller budget. Next, number two, way down there at 33%, home improvements, dining out. Savings was under dining out. So clearly, the idea of traveling remains a priority, even if our budgets shrink over the next, if inflation lasts another year or so.
That number is amazing, though. I mean, there's still that pent-up energy to want to travel.
Is there
and strong.
Exactly right.
All right, so prediction number two. Where are people traveling?
Where are we going to go?
Where are they heading?
Well, we're going to go where there is sand, basically. The number one vacation type in 2022 was beach. Same thing for 2023, with 57% saying that they want a beach getaway. Cultural has actually surged in interest as well, and road tripping is always going to be popular. And the top 3 domestic destinations, Florida, California, Hawaii, what do they all have in common? Beautiful beaches. So what does that tell us? If you're planning a beach getaway in 2023, you want to scope out those vacations early, because prices will remain pretty aggressive over the course of the year, for sure.
And those destinations probably are hotter in the months of when I say that people want to go, January through, let's say, March.
And that's particularly the case for Florida, but in California, it's really more of a summer push. Hawaii is pretty much all year.
All year, because the weather is so stable, but everything's driven by the weather, I guess.
It's seasonality, exactly.
Okay, so, and prediction number 3, this has to do with domestic versus international. So
we're seeing interest in both domestic and international travel surge, but clearly the domestic travel sector is going to do quite well. About 50% of Americans saying they'll take at least 2 to 3 domestic trips next year. About 43% saying they'll take at least 1 international trip. About a quarter of us taking at least 2 international vacations next year. This still has to do with the fact that only about 40% of us have a passport. So at the end of the day, domestic travel seems just easier to attain. But as the deals begin to trickle in next year, that number on international trips might in fact go up, I'd say.
So it seems like everybody's sort of over a bit of a phobia about traveling internationally, with COVID kind of getting more and more in the background.
I think that the concerns over the potential of these last-minute regulations and rules changing, which would prevent us from coming back home, that was the big factor there. And some of the requirements to get back home, like those COVID tests, et cetera, that we don't expect that to come back. I mean, there may be surges here and there. The concern might not necessarily disappear, but I think the comfort level around taking these kinds of trips and the ease with which we might come back home from an international trip have definitely quelled.
And speaking of, I love traveling internationally because it just changes the entire culture. I get to experience so much. What are some of the hot spots you think for 2023 internationally?
All right, we got 3 here that I think are really going to impress you, Chris. So get your passport ready.
I will.
So this one is Thailand. Thailand opened up its borders in July, so very fresh reopening, and it's all about getting American dollars there ASAP. Check this out. 7 nights at a 5-star resort there in Phuket. for $199.
What?
That's $199 for the 7-night stay at a variety of different 5-star resorts. This is through a company called UTO Vacation. They partner with a couple of 5-star resorts out there. Unbelievable rate. Now, the airfare out of New York, depending on when you go, about 1,000 to 1,200 round trip.
Okay.
They just want to get foot traffic on these southeastern locations. So once you're there, you'll spend on spas, you'll spend on meals. But an unbelievable deal there to get you in one of the most exotic parts in the world. And that's for travel 2023 to 2025. So a big, long travel window for sure.
My fiance's been there, but I want to go there because...
she can bring you on...
Right, she can show me the sights.
Thank for the
maybe something new. Always a pleasure, Gabe.
Great to see you, Chris.
When are you hitting the road next?
This afternoon. But I think so are you. So I might see you there at TSA
I'll see you at
PreCheck.
JFK. There you go. Thanks so much again for joining us.
Thanks.